everyone. So for my group proposal, I designed a support group for people currently receiving treatment at my practicum agency for substance abuse and addiction. So with working with a lot of the client systems at Cumberland River, I have noticed that a lot of them are lacking formal support systems such as family, friends, co-workers, just any social support network. And so I felt it would be very appropriate to have a social support group for this specific population, being drug addicts who are currently receiving treatment through CRBH. So the requirements for the group are to be actively attending treatment services and have been for at least 3 consecutive months. It also includes having an expressed need for social support, or just an expressed having a lack of social support. I can talk, I'm sorry. Okay, and then the support group members have to be at least 18 years old or older. So for the evaluation, I'm going to implement surveys after the first, fourth, and last session. So the group meets for 8 weeks, 2 hours per week, every Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. I'm so sorry that it's so shaky. I don't have anywhere to stand my phone. But so there will be a survey after the first session, which will just basically ask everyone what they plan to get out of the support group. The fourth session, the halfway point, will go over any progress that's been made, any things that they wish would change, and then the last session the last survey will discuss if they feel their need for social support has decreased, if they feel the group is a positive implementation to their treatment and to their overall well-being and quality of life. Let's see. The survey will further address things such as how they feel about the group activities that were implemented, if they feel the group needs any changes, the positives, the negatives, personal feelings, and there will additionally be a comment section for them to speak about anything and everything that they wish to openly address. I found a stand for my phone, so hopefully this goes better. But for the facilitation in the first session, I would first introduce myself, my role as a social worker within the agency, a little bit about what I do and the services I provide, and then discuss my role as the facilitator within the group. I would want that to include a little bit about why I would be an appropriate choice to lead this group, specifically the population. So as I've stated before, and quite a lot of coursework, honestly, is that I'm the daughter of 2 drug addicts. My mom, thankfully, entered recovery in 2014 and has been sober since. My dad still battles addiction. He's currently homeless and he lives in Texas. I don't get to talk to him very often, but when I do, you know, he's not doing well, and it's really heartbreaking, but it's made me who I am. Just him, his situation, and how that situation has impacted me. So I'd want to just explain that, you know, I've dealt with addiction firsthand. Even though I've never battled addiction myself, I've seen how it affects families, how it can affect children, how it affects individuals who are battling. So I would just want to address that a little bit with the group members, just so they'd feel a little more comfortable with me and just think that I would be qualified to lead such a group. So this is my favorite part to discuss, is the icebreakers, because that was mentioned a lot, like in the prompt for the paper. So for the first icebreaker, we would be doing 3 for the first session. Okay, let me talk a little bit about the actual group implementation. So the group will run for 8 weeks. The first session will just be about getting to know each other, introductions, icebreakers, going over group rules, stuff like that. So there will be 3 icebreakers every initial session of the group. So every 8 weeks the group kind of starts over, allows new members to come in, old members to leave, or continue attending the group if they want to. So the first icebreaker is two truths and a lie. So I've played, it is a game, so I've played this a lot at various camps and just different groups that I've been a part of. So basically, everyone will have an index card, and on the card they'll write down three pieces of information, 2 of which will be false, 1 of which will be a truth. And then all the group members, myself included, will go around and try to figure out which one's the truth and which 2 are the lies. So I think that'll be fun. The next is the gift. This is one I've also played myself, and I thought it was so much fun. And as soon as I read the word icebreaker in the actual like assignment guidelines, I was like, the gift. That's absolutely what I'm gonna do, because it involves just initial interaction and discussion, and I like it. It's fun. So the gift, basically, everyone to your left. Well, okay, how do I explain this? The meeting will take place in a conference room in the main Corbin, Kentucky office. So with that, in this conference room, there's a huge rectangular table, like a giant table. So everyone will be able to sit around the table, and everyone will have someone sitting to their left and someone sitting to their right. So with that, everyone to the left, everyone will turn to their right and give the person next to them an adjective. And then everybody will turn to their left and give, I forgot which direction I already said. I'm so sorry. The left will give an adjective, the right will give a noun. So then the people will come together and each take a turn to say what gift they received. So for example, in my actual paper, I wrote that an example could be a sarcastic trombone or like a beautiful tire swing. It's just random and it's funny. And it reminds me of like Mad Libs, which I'm a huge fan of. So I think this would be just a fun little thing to do within the group to just allow everyone to talk with each other, become more comfortable, become less nervous. Because I know in new group settings, everyone's going to be uncomfortable and nervous during the initial session. So this is just a good way to break the ice, to get to know each other better, and to just encourage talking. The last is another fun one. It's called Most Unique. So basically you go around and you just say one random, interesting, cool, random fact about yourself. So for me, I recently actually, and I only recently found this out because of my little sister, but me, my brother, who is 19, and then I'm 20 also, and then our little sister, who is, how old is she? She is 6. She was at the doctor's and they noticed that the whites around her eyes were blue, and everyone in my family started freaking out, taking her to the hospital, to the emergency room to figure out what was wrong with her. And I literally texted my mom, and I know this is random and very off topic, I'm sorry, but I texted my mom when she told me about it, and I was like, Mom, you do realize that the whites of my eyes have been blue like my whole life? And you can't really tell, but if you are looking at me face to face and I turn my eyes sideways, you can notice that I have very dark blue rings around the brown parts of my eye. So it's really neat. It's because of a gene, a recessive gene that was passed down. So basically you need both copies from both parents to get some bone disease, which thankfully neither of us have because we all share the same mom. And so our mom passed it down to us. But yeah, moving on. That's just one example of some random fun fact that you can add in there. So after going off topic for about 2 minutes, let's go back to the group criteria and just the general meeting. So the criteria for joining is you have to be currently receiving treatment, addiction treatment, recovery treatment, substance abuse treatment from CRBH in any of their main offices. And you have to have been receiving treatment for at least 3 months. You have to have an identified need for social support, such as having a lack of a family system. Like, for example, one of the clients that I have been able to interact with the last couple of weeks has a very poor relationship with his siblings, and as a result, he is homeless. And he is just struggling significantly, both mentally and physically, because, a major support system in a lot of people's lives are their family. And because he does not have a positive relationship with his siblings, he is lacking this specific support. So with that, an identified need of support services is another criteria need. They also have to be above the age of 18, just because, adults. And so the group will meet for 8 weeks and just go over different things. So some ideas for the group will include like watching documentaries, maybe episodes of intervention, and then having an open discussion about what they watched, what they learned, what they took from that. Another activity that I found, because I did quite a bit of research about how people develop support groups for recovery and substance abuse specifically. And a lot of the things that I found, or one that just really resonated with me, was writing a letter to their past self and then choosing if they felt comfortable to share this letter with the actual group. And I think that activity, specifically just being able to write a letter to one's past self and then choose to share it out loud with the group, or just keep it personal to themselves, allows critical thinking skills, self-reflection, self-awareness, and just allows people to just reconsider that time in their lives when they were battling addiction, and to just see how far they've come in terms of, you know, from back then to now in terms of their treatment, as well as just to identify similarities and just things like that in terms of like how they relate to the other group members. So I thought that was a really positive activity and something I would definitely choose to implement in such a group. But yeah, that is my group proposal. I can't wait to watch the video from all of y'all's and to learn all about y'all's ideas and populations that y'all want to serve. So yeah, thank you so much.